Hey everybody, Brian and Leslie Fatherees here once again with the Unbreakable podcast. It is the end of June and we are here on the last episode of the month, and we have been talking about parenting adults.
Yes.
We talked about getting them to adulthood. We talked about what that looks like when they get out of high school. We talked about what it looks like when they go to college and get out of college. We've talked about what it looks like when we launch them into their own lives, their married lives, their careers, things about that. We talked about how we have just literally done that with our oldest son, and what was going on with that. We will not repeat those stories in this episode. We could.
You'll have to go back and listen to the last one.
Yeah, we could. It's just it's not pertinent to what we're talking about today. What we want to talk about today is becoming grandparents and parenting adults as a grandparent.
Yeah.
Parenting them as they have their own family, their own children, and what's that look like from a biblical Christian perspective? Because it's not what the world says. It's not what the world says at all. How many times have you heard? Raise your hand, put it in the chat, whatever. How many times have you heard that grandchildren are there for two reasons? One, for grandparents to spoil and send back to their parents. And two, to be a, what's the right word? A payback for all the things that the children did when they were growing up. That their children are a payback to them for acting a certain way when they were a child. Garbage. Both of those are not biblical. Both of those are not right. So we want to talk to you about how do you parent a child who now has their own children. Right?
Yep.
Now, we have only one of our children has children. The rest do not yet.
Right.
They will. They just don't yet. So we're this is not coming to you from books we've read, though we've read them. It's not coming to you from seminars we've gone to, though we've gone to them, from webinars, from this is coming from actual life experience, and testing the theories and the thoughts and the principles and the standards that we established and we believed, and has it completely rocked all of them? Have they worked? I mean, right? How does that look like when you're parenting children? And I know they're in their 30s and their 40s, but they're still your children. They don't like that, but they're still your children. They're not your baby, but they're your child. They're adults.
They're your offspring.
They are your offspring. And so how do you parent them when they have their own family that they're raising? And do you do anything at all? Because some people take a complete hands-off approach to that, and like, they're on their own, I ain't helping them, they don't want to help me, kind of thing. I've heard that so many times over the years, and that's I would say not a healthy approach to parenting your kids who have kids.
Right.
You have to learn how to do it in a God-fearing, biblical kind of way. So,
well, I think the goal for us.
We'll
talk about us. So the goal for our family is to remain a family even as we enlarge. We want to love one another. We want to care for one another. We want to be there for one another. We want to help one another. We have a family environment that we have created through the years. And we want that to continue even as they have their own plants, even as they plant their families, and then they're going to start having children, and then hopefully those children will plant again, and they'll have, but we are all one big family. And so our philosophy, I guess you would say, is that we are a family. We are a family together. And we have taught our children our belief system. We've taught them about character. We've taught them their book learning. We've taught them all the things. But now it's on them in their household, and they're going to start teaching their children.
Right.
Hopefully, a lot of the same things we taught them, because we feel like what we taught them was good.
Yeah. Now, that is philosophy, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But how does that actually practically work?
Right. Exactly.
Because look to your right, look to your left, look around, and listen. your children have a free will.
Yeah, they do.
Especially when they become adults.
Yeah. And some of them more so than others in the sense that they want to do it their way.
Yeah.
You know, I did it my way. We have a couple of them that sing that song. And that's okay. As long as as they're making their choices and they're grounded and based in the faith that we gave them and the, the strengths that we gave them.
Yeah. Because just as when they were growing up, before they became adults, and you're watching them going, yeah, they're going to feel that one in the morning. Yeah, that's going to be a mistake, but I got to let them make it. Because some children learn from your mistakes,
right?
And some children learn from their very own mistakes.
Yep.
And how they do it. So we have different personalities and things, and that doesn't even count the sons-in-law and the daughters-in-law.
Right. Yeah. Because that's adding in.
Because that's adding in, and their personalities and their thought process and their philosophies. Because you're blending all of that, and so we have to watch, and learn from all that. So it's really funny because I remember we literally gave Hannah away, our oldest, to be married, and it was probably a year or so later. I said something about my child, my daughter, and then her husband, Chris, is like, well, she's mine now. I'm like, well, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that she's my daughter.
Right. Yeah.
But you said you gave her to me. I said, I did, but she's still my daughter. She's my daughter, but she's your wife, which precedes, in priority, me as her dad. Because
but she never stops being our daughter.
Ever. Because the scripture says to a couple, says, leave your mother and father and cleave together, cling to each other, and make a separate family unit. Yeah. But what that really means, and people take it out of context, it means you're just building generation upon generation upon generation. Yes. And so your goal is, as a parent of children that are your grandchildren, is helping them not lose the foundation and the standards that you built in that generation, but make it better in the generation they're raising. Yeah. And so you have to give them room to have their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own philosophies, their own ways of parenting. We really don't give a lot of advice as parents to our parents with children.
Not necessarily, unless she would call with a question.
If they ask, we give the advice, but we don't initiate it. And the only way I would initiate it is if I saw something that I knew was really bad and really dangerous to their life, their faith, and their family. Then I would step in and I would not yell at them. I would not argue with them. I would just gently say, "Hey, I'm noticing ABC. You should do DEF."
Or at least consider doing DEF.
Yeah. Now, I can't make them. I'm not trying to make them do anything they don't want to do. But I would step in and say, "Hey, I'm seeing this, and I'm telling you from experience, having raised 5 children, and one of them was you, that does not work. Yeah. So it's not going to work with your children either. And so you got to be willing to do that, and that may alienate them for a minute or two, but they'll get over it. It's really funny. I'm going to pick up my oldest daughter. And she hears this. She probably doesn't even listen to our podcast. she has her own stuff going on, so she probably doesn't look and listen, which is great because I can talk about her behind her back. But right?
Yeah.
But she is a very, very strong personality.
Very.
She has always been, has to do it her way, period. Whatever her way may be in whatever it is that she's doing. It could be family, it could be faith, it could be finances, it could be whatever she's doing. She has to do it her way.
And she's wonderful at all of it.
Oh, yeah. But I've seen where she steps out and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be good. that's going to be...
But she'll figure it out that, it's not good. I should do something different.
But I don't step in and I let her... She has to learn things on her own and navigate those waters herself.
Yes.
And her husband is a lot like her in that regard. They're very strong-willed, independent, purposeful, ambitious people. And nothing wrong with any of that. But sometimes those kind of personalities have a hard time seeking help and seeking advice.
Now, the good thing about our daughter and
Go ahead.
son-in-law
Yeah.
is that when they do step out and it doesn't quite work out and it really doesn't do what they want it to do, they're willing to admit, okay, we shouldn't have done it that way, we blew it, and they'll just choose a different pathway and try again. Yeah. So that's a good thing about them.
So back to my daughter, because I had a point I was going to make, and
Sorry.
we got you're on your fault. I got off topic too. So it's been fun. Literally, it's been fun watching her as she grows and navigates raising children, because she now has 4 of her own, and so watching her raise them. She's got everything from a 4-year-old to a teenager. And so, and teenagers, what, 15, 16 now? 16. See, I lose track. So the oldest is 16, the youngest is 4. So she's navigating those waters on her own with her husband. And she's like, oh, I've got this, because she's very confident and very, I got this. But it's hilarious. I mean, hilarious. Funny. But when she calls her mama, and she talks more to her mom than she talks to me. I accuse her of screening my phone calls when I call her. She really doesn't, but it's a thing that I like to pick on her about. Anyway, she calls her mom. She's like, I was correcting one of the children, and I heard my mother's mouth coming. I heard my mom speaking out of my mouth. And we just think it's hilarious because she swore up and down she would never do those things and never say those things that way.
And when she says that, I do not say, I knew that would happen. I don't rub it in.
No gloating.
I just laugh with her and I enjoy the moment.
Yeah, there's no gloating.
No gloating.
None of that.
Don't do that.
That's part of parenting your adult children who have children. You're going to see things that you've already gone through, that you've had life experience with, and you're going to have to just let them navigate that. You're going to have to let them make their own mistakes, and sometimes they do things better than you did.
They come up with a new way, or there's new things to work with than what we have.
Yeah, I mean, there's new technology, there's new things, and so they use those things to their benefit as they're raising their children. Go ahead.
I will say that I taught all of my children how to find things out, how to study, how to research. If they want to know something, I taught them how to figure out, how to find information, how to figure it out. And so, taught them how to use a library. As the computers and the phones and everything started happening, then we learned how to use all that. And so, when they need to know something, they go and they look for the information and they find it. And our oldest is very, very good at navigating and researching and finding out the information she needs to take care of her family. So where I also looked for the best foods to feed my people and ways to clothe them and things to do with them and how to teach them stuff, she does the same thing. But she does it to an even greater depth because of the further advancements that she has to work with. And she is not doing it the way I did it, but she's finding the way that works for herself and for her children and her family. And so she does a great job with that.
Absolutely does. And if you're going to argue with her, you better come prepared, because she's prepared. She is prepared for her beliefs politically, in her beliefs spiritually, medically, financially, in raising children. She has a strong belief set, and it's not based in just opinion. She has done, as Leslie said, a tremendous amount of research. Now, do I agree with everything she comes up with? I don't, but it's okay, because that's part of parenting adult children with children.
But those things we don't agree with aren't necessarily the most serious thing in life. I mean, so if you have to be willing to give them that space to have things that are different from what you think.
Yes, you do.
Especially if they don't change the price of beans in China. I mean, it's just you just have to just let them have their things and be happy that they've researched and they found it out and they're trying to do the best for who their family is. I think another area where we are like their biggest supporters, as far as
that's where I was going to go next.
Yeah, we encourage them in all the things that they step out to do. My daughter's very entrepreneurial, and she tries all kinds of different things, and she just keeps honing it. She's going to get to the right one of these days, because she just keeps honing what she does until it's going to be very, very successful. And our son-in-law, he has been in a couple different careers, but now is on a really good one. He's working hard at it. We encourage, we help, we share posts and do all the things that we can do to help them in what they're doing. But we also help them in their parenting, in the sense that we support their decisions
with their children.
Yeah. So when their children come to our home, we don't allow them to be on every screen there is for 24 hours while they're here.
Right.
Because that's not what they would do at home with their parents. Their parents have a reasoning why they don't want their children on screens that much. And we support what their decision is for their children.
100%.
And so those kind of things, we don't sugar them up and send them home. We don't.
But boy, do I want to sometimes.
we only give them what everyone else is participating in, as long as their parents are like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Yeah. So we try to stay in the guidelines that they want for their children, and also support them in like the disciplinarian part of it. Right. So like, I'll never forget our second granddaughter, when she was probably 3 or 4. Probably 3. She did something, and I had to actually tell her no, because she was going to do something that was going to be harmful, either to her or to something she was playing with. Anyway, the look on her face when I told her no, sternly told her no, was just, you've got to be kidding me. Her face just could not fathom the fact that Grandma had just told her no. Right. But I knew that her mother would not let her do that, and I support my daughter in how she's raising her daughter. And so I had to say no, because that was not something that was going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can still have fun. This is exactly where I want to go. When you're, one of the ways that you parent is by helping them parent. Mm-hmm. So when the grandchildren come over, and we love when they come over, I'm going to be playful, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to tickle, we're going to joke, we're going to have a good time. But if they come in and one of them has a major attitude, and their mom and dad's like, they're in trouble, they need to do this, they need to sit down, they don't get this, they don't get the cake and ice cream today, whatever it is that they say, this is the parameter for this child, because we're having problems today. And it happens. Anybody who's parenting knows you have moments. So we don't sneak the stuff behind their back. No. And say, your mom and dad are wrong.
Yeah, this is our secret. Don't tell mom.
Don't tell mom.
No, we don't do that.
We don't do any of that. We agree. Now they'll try. They will try. Hey, Papa. I'm Papa, not Grandpa. I'm Papa. Hey, Papa, can I? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll look at them. And it's the same principle we had when we were raising our own children. Yeah. Because when we raised our children, we made an agreement. If one of our kids came to us and said, can I do ABC? The first question out of either of our mouths is, for me, it was like, well, what did you ask your mom? Well, yeah, what did your mom say?
What did your dad say?
Either way. And so I'll be like, well, did you ask your mom and dad? Yeah. And as soon as they go, yeah, I know they can't do it. I'm like, well, what did they say? They said I had a blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, well, let's just do what mom and dad said, because they're your mom and dad. However, let's find something else that we can do that they'll accept. Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. And so we'll work something out, and I'll make sure it's cool with mom and dad, with my daughter and son-in-law. I'll make sure that they're good with what we're doing. So we are supportive 100%, even if we disagree. Right. Even if it's a moment where like, yeah, we wouldn't have done it that way. We are supportive of our daughter and our son-in-law in their discipline, and the way they're raising their children, and we help them. If it's too out of hand, we'll say something, but not in front of the kids, because we want them to know we are behind their parents 100%. Yeah. So the next thing is, we don't spoil our grandchildren. We don't take them, we do things for them, like Leslie always has a little snack thing, a little chocolate thing, or a little graham cracker thing, or a little something. It's not like a big blow up thing that she sends home with them, so it's under the control from their parents.
They have to have mom's approval to eat it or to
Yeah.
to open it or whatever.
And our daughters-in-law know that they're going to get that from grandma, and they're cool with that. But we're not just sugaring them up. And so I've joked and I've teased, birthdays and Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
There are toys and gimmicks and things out there that were like, oh, because I'm like, oh, and Leslie's like, your daughter will kill you if you send that home.
Especially all the toys that make noise.
The super
I was like, don't
loud,
do that to her.
So don't do that to her. I was like, oh, but I really want to. I really want to do that. We grandpas, we want to do stuff like that, right? But we have to learn to have self-control.
Yeah. Because
your grandchildren are watching you just as much as your children are watching you.
Right.
And so we help them in regards to that. We had an encounter at church this week where a young mom was talking to her about raising some little ones. And she's got ones about toddler age. And my wife's like, oh, well, people are like, oh, terrible 2, horrible 3, blah, blah, blah. And it's not our philosophy. And my wife's like, oh, you don't have to have that. You can have terrific 2s and tremendous 3s. She's like, oh, thank you, because I know. And she lit up. And so we're encouraging this young lady to we're not even related.
No.
But we're encouraging her to approach her children biblically. We do the same thing with our own children.
Right.
Because we want them to succeed with that. We want our grandchildren to succeed.
Yeah.
I know my oldest grandson, he's a redhead like his papa. And so redheads tend to have anger issues.
Yeah.
It just seems to be a natural occurrence with gingers, redheads. And so when he was younger, he used to get mad at me because, like she was saying, the first time I ever told him no on something, you would have thought I broke his leg in 3 places. He started crying and yelling, and then he got mad, and he was playing with some Legos. He swept them off the table onto the floor, and I made him get down there and pick them up. And he said, I didn't pick them. You're picking them up. They're picking them up now. And we didn't have mom and dad at the house. It was just I was watching.
We were just watching him.
And so the fact that I disciplined him and made him toe the line and do what was right really just broke his little heart at that moment. He was like 3 or 4, maybe 5, and then he started doing this thing where he would growl at me when he was mad at me. He would, Argh. And I'm like, really? So I would growl back louder, and he would look at me like, uh-oh. And so
it was a phase. He was learning. His parents were working with him on the angry thing, but my husband didn't put up with it. Not one bit.
And I'd growl back, and he's like, Papa, don't growl at me. Don't growl at me. If you growl at me, I'm growling back. And he's like, you can see his little brain going, okay, how can I express my anger without growling at Grandpa?
Yeah.
Because I don't like it when he growls back.
Yeah.
It scares me.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to scare him. I'm just, trying to negate the attitude.
Right.
And we don't put up with attitude from the children. We make them pick up when they're getting ready to leave. They've been in our house. They got every toy under the sun out, and we're totally cool with that.
Yep. As long as you pick them all up.
They can get them all out, hang on. They can walk on them, throw them across the room. No, but they got to go back where they came from.
Yeah.
And they got to be, picked back up. And that's also supporting our daughter and our son-in-law. We're helping them teach their children to have integrity.
Yes.
We're helping them teach our children to have self-control. We're helping them to follow rules and have standards that other children may or may not have. But we're not concerned about them as much as we are our own, because we're trying, like we said, develop generations of faithful, God-fearing, productive individuals. And that's what we do, is parenting of parents with children. Go ahead.
Yes. I was just thinking about more recently, our oldest grandson kind of was hitting a phase of the I'm bored. Everything, I'm bored.
Yeah.
And they would come to our house, and he would walk around just, I'm bored. And finally, one day, he was in the kitchen with me alone. And so I went over and I put my arm around him, and I said, when you come to my house, and all you can say at my house is, I'm bored, I said, that really kind of hurts my feelings. and it makes me upset that you don't enjoy being at my house with me and Papa and you know, going, and I kind of just gave him a little talk about that in that vein, quiet, just him and me. But I knew that my daughter had been working on the whole I'm bored thing, trying to get him over the hump on not saying that all the time. And so I was trying to add to that enough to give him a revelation, I guess, of, okay, when you're saying that, what are you doing? You know, what are you really saying to the people around you? And so after we had a little talk, he was like, okay, Grandma. And so after we had a little talk, he didn't say that anymore that day. But I also noticed after that, I did not hear the I'm bored phrase come out of his mouth when he came to Grandma and Grandpa. So I was able to influence him enough to at least get it stopped there. I'm believing that he came out of that phase at home also. But he just really had that, I don't know where he picked it up at, but he had something he needed to work through. Yep. And I was trying to aid in working through it. Yep. And in that way, assist my daughter and son-in-law in getting him through that.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask on that one, but I inputted enough in a way that I knew my daughter wouldn't be upset about, or her husband be upset about. But.
Yeah. And we're not saying don't input without, you have to ask every time with your adult children what to do with your grandchildren.
Now, we have an understanding, too, with our daughter and son-in-law that we are allowed to say and speak into our grandchildren's lives. They don't have a problem with us doing that.
Yeah. And so, but don't walk on eggshells.
Right.
You know,
don't talk it out with them.
Have fun with both your adult children and with the grandchildren, the children's children. Mm-hmm. Have fun with them and talk about. So we talk about spiritual things. We talk about fun things. We talk about all different kinds of things. And you know, and I play and I tease, and they know that that's what's coming because that's what papas do. Mm-hmm. And when they do all that, they know Grandma's going to love them and hug them and
feed them.
And feed them. They especially like it when she feeds them, whatever it is that she's feeding them. Mm-hmm. And they have some certain things that they really want when they come over. And so we take care of all that. We do all that. So we just want to encourage you to find ways to support your adult children with children. Mm-hmm. Find ways, talk to them and find out their principles, their philosophies, and how you, literally ask, how can we help you while you raise your children? Mm-hmm. What are things that we can do to enhance your parenting? Mm-hmm. What are things that we can do that help your children learn and grow in the ways that you want them to learn and grow? And have those conversations. And if it's really disagreeable, have the hard conversation. Talk about it. But understand, when all is said and done,
they're the parents.
They're the parents. Mm-hmm. They are their children, not yours. And I'll finish with this story because it applies. When we were first married and we only had the one daughter, and we were living in a particular town in an apartment, and our lease was coming out. Mm-hmm. And we found a house we were going to rent, but it was a month gap.
Yeah, 30 days.
There's a 30-day gap from lease to lease. Mm-hmm. So my parents are like, moving with us for 30 days. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Not a good thing. So we were like, okay, there was no other option. So we moved in with my mom and dad for 30 days. Horrible 30 days, just saying. And I'm not talking about, they're both gone. I'm not talking bad about them at all, but it's just a bad 30 days.
Their life and our lives weren't quite meshing.
No. So my mom decides, unprovoked, looks at me and is like, here's the thing. This is my house, and I'll do things in my house the way I do things in my house. I guess she thought I was going to be judgmental and preachy to her. I was never going. I have respect and honor for that, but she just made an assumption that I was not going to do that. And so I'm like, huh, okay. And I'm very opinionated. I'm very.
And then he was young.
Yeah, much younger. Early to mid 20s. So I grabbed the baby out of Leslie's hand. I looked at my mom and said, and this is our child. And we will raise our child the way we see fit, whether you like it or not. Totally took my mom off. My dad's in his chair laughing his backside off. Yeah. He thinks it's hilarious. She's like, what are you laughing? He goes, you started it. I think he finished it. Kind of thing. Like, so don't get to that place.
Yeah.
Realize
we can laugh at it now. It was not comfortable then.
It wasn't
for sure.
But know that your children have every right to raise their children the way they see fit.
Yeah.
Now,
we also
give them input if you can.
When they come to our house, we follow the rules of our house. I mean, there are things they may do at home that we don't do here.
Yeah.
And so, they're our daughter and son-in-law, they understand that. When we're in this house, we go by the rules that we have here. When they're at their house, they go by their rules that are there. I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, it is. Anything to add? Because we're out of time.
Nope.
All right.
I'm good.
Again, just like last week, no shameless plug, but it's coming. Next month, we got some shameless plugs coming. We got some new branding coming. We got some other new things coming that will be a resource for you. And we want to start sharing those things with you in July and even more as August arrives. So we got a couple things coming in the next couple months. That's the shameless plug hint.
I think you're making it up.
Maybe. I get to make things up.
Okay.
Our show.
That's right.
It's our stuff.
Okay.
So pray for the folks.
Oh, Father, we just thank you that you have created the idea of generations of love and generations of peace and generations of family, Father, where we can enjoy our offspring, we can enjoy our children's children, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-grandchildren. We can enjoy the generations. Father, it's a great idea that you have for there to be perpetual generations. I don't know. I think that's wonderful, Lord. And I just thank you that you are helping us and helping those who are listening to have family that is blessed, family that is favored, family that gets along and enjoys one another, enjoys coming together. Father, I thank you that you are helping all of us to navigate parenting and grandparenting in ways that are productive and positive and purposeful, Father, that we would teach our generations about you and all that you stand for and all that you are. And Lord, I pray that as we do that, you would just pour out your blessing even more upon us. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
That's it. All right, guys. That's all we got to say for this episode. Until the next time, we were praying for you. We love you. Believing God to do great things in your life and expecting blessing to flow to you. But until then, that's it. And goodbye for now.